It's only by the grace of God that Dave is a Razorback. I tried to screw up that recruiting as good as you could, and I almost did. We had a chance to recruit Dave out of high school and didn't do it, and it bothered me a little bit. He goes to a junior college, McLennan. He's an All-American. He could have gone anywhere. I thought we were going to lose him to A&M, and after I continued to screw up the recruiting process, he became a Razorback. And so, Dave, thank you. I always wanted to tell you.
This is Norm DeBriyn, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Coach, thanks for making some time for us this morning. That's one of the great stories that you could tell about Dave. But Tommy and I were kind of surprised. It's only the second time since Dave Van Horn has been the head coach at Arkansas that he's been named Coach of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. Is that kind of weird considering how much success he's had since he's been in Fayetteville?
Yeah, it is, really. When you think about the kind of job he has done, you know, with Arkansas baseball, he and his staff and the players and what he brings to the table, his leadership is outstanding. Dave is just, you know, the complete coach. I mean, he can recruit, he evaluates, great leadership, can make hard decisions. You know, and Arkansas has been knocking on the door for so many years under him in the toughest conference in America. So, you know, it's all good and glad to see him be the Coach of the Year this year. Very deserving.
Coach, I wonder from your perspective, and I know you played and coached in the Southwest Conference for quite some time, but you did get your taste of the SEC a good chunk too. What's the strategy in Hoover? Because there's been a lot of debate. Hey, you got to go win it. Hey, you don't need to go fully out. Coach, in your opinion, what does Dave's ball club need to do in Hoover, Alabama this week?
Well, I think, you know, it's a little different situation for Arkansas. They've got the number one national seed in their back pocket, and so they really don't have to do anything. The SEC tournament is more of a fundraiser than it is, you know, but it does help some teams. So I shouldn't say its only purpose is money, but that is a factor. I think Dave, in this tournament, I would like to see them, you know, win the SEC overall, which they have done, win the tournament, and win the national championship. And yet, as far as the tournament is concerned, I think he would like to play at least 3 games to get 3 starting pitchers in there. And then I know his guts are, hey, let's just win this thing. And so, you know, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, we were talking a week or two ago about the notoriety and the mark of winning 40 games in the regular season. Dave's crew has already surpassed that. To get to 50, that means you've had a really good year, and you're probably playing at least for a national championship. So another win or two here and there would certainly move you closer, Coach, to that 50-win mark, which is very rare air in college baseball.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, when you look at the SEC, I mean, I look at these teams, I mean, even last night, you know, the Georgia-Ole Miss game, very good game. Georgia, you know, they're talented. They're a good ball club. I remember Auburn being in Fayetteville early in the year, and I thought Auburn was pretty good. You look at their record, the SEC is so competitive and so strong that when you look at Arkansas, you almost take them for granted, like, hey, they're going to win, which they have this year. It didn't matter. If you're 3 runs down, how many times have they come back to win the game? Which is kind of a special ingredient they have.
Mm-hmm.
They find a way to win in every kind of situation, whether it's offense, defense, pitching. They find a way, and so I mean that might be the key opponent right there, component to winning it all.
Coach, you've scouted, and I think you continue to scout for some of the major league organizations. I know you watch a lot of baseball and evaluate players, but I want to get your perspective on the idea that not only is this league tough once again in the best baseball conference in America, but give us more insight on the fact that this year is even different with the shortened draft, with the rosters as loaded as they are. Is this the best year of college baseball you have ever seen in your 50-plus years?
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, because of COVID, because of the expanded rosters, because of, the players like a Casey Opitz that of only 5 rounds in the draft last year. I mean, he normally would not be here in a normal draft. And so the normal draft was 40 rounds, and last year went to 5 rounds. I think this year is going to be 20 rounds. But, because of that, you've got more talent. I mean, you've got a double-A. The SEC is at least a double-A league, which is knocking on the door to the big leagues. And you see now, that being the development instead of minor league baseball for Major League Baseball. And so that's just a credit to the league and kind of, as you mentioned, kind of a unique situation this year because of the COVID, because of people coming back, because of extra year of eligibility, because of expanded rosters, et cetera.
So how much more impressive does it make what Arkansas has done this year, considering everything you just laid out?
Well, I think for sure. Arkansas, I saw them in the fall, and I watched them in the fall a lot, and I was thinking, this might be as good a ball club as I've seen. And, and yet when the regular season starts, it's just like, the competition is so fine that, you lose some, you win some. But Arkansas, right out of the chute, they swept that tournament in Texas against good teams. They go into the SEC. They had that aberration of the first game against Alabama where I think they lost 16-1, but then they won that series and they continued to win every series, which is almost unheard of. And so, if it's ever been set up, it looks good. It is set up this year. I really feel that.
Coach Norm DeBriyn here with us on the Morning Rush. Coach, Braden Webb had an incident on Saturday night, and from your perspective as a guy that coached for quite some time, when a player was out of line, let's say Scott Tabor did something out of whack back in the day.
Well, that's often, I bet.
Yeah. And how would you go about, not just with the Arkansas media, but disciplining and just how would you go about just punishing the player, trying to make rights from wrongs?
Well, you preach doing the right thing, and these young people, you want to be involved in everything that's going on, and it takes a special person and a discipline to be able to isolate yourself, to keep your nose to the grindstone and do the right thing. And when something happens, Dave will evaluate everything and do the right thing. There's no doubt in my mind. And he's a guy that is no nonsense, and the focus is on baseball and winning baseball. And so he'll make the right decisions here.
Coach, this upcoming weekend you got Hoover, and then the following weekends you'll have the regional and super regional Baum Walker Stadium. And I know that the ticket email just got sent out yesterday. I would expect a similar type of crowd. How great is it for Dave Van Horn and the players that the NCAA set it to the state guidelines, and Hunter Yurchek is opening up full capacity for Razorback baseball postseason?
Well, it's a definite advantage. I mean, I don't know if you heard the interview of the Florida player yesterday. They talked to him about getting swept last weekend at Arkansas, and he made a comment. He said the crowd was incredible. He more or less referenced that that crowd did have an effect on him. And, I mean, it was electric. I met with somebody from St. Louis and his son on Saturday, and he said when they got in town Friday night, they heard this noise driving, off of exit 60 on 49 and drove by the stadium. He said, we just stopped there and listened. He said, the noise, he said, the crowd, it was incredible. And when you think back of calling the Hogs like in the 7th, 8th inning, and when we tied with that home run, it was like unbelievable. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen, and I asked Hunter Yurchek on Saturday, have you ever seen a better atmosphere? And he has seen a lot. He said, no, he said, this is incredible. So that's that's a tribute to our fans. It's a tribute to the product that Dave's put on the field. I mean, it's awesome. It really is.
Well, Coach, thanks for giving us some of your time this morning. We hope to visit with you again on what's hopefully another month of baseball still ahead of us.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tommy. Enjoy your show.
All right, thank you, Coach. One of the all-time greats, one of the best guys you'll ever meet, Norm DeBriyn, with us here on the Morning Rush.